I was born in New York City on a Monday. Seemed like I was shining shoes from 2 to noon. All the bad cats with the bad hats doing me a real big favor. We got the bad cats with the bad hats playing all day long. Here's a dime, boy. Give me a shine. Ain't no place to be, but where can you go when you're down and out in New York City? Gonna get myself together in the Oh shit! Don't let me get on some James Brown, Black Caesar. We are doing it in 3D tonight, y'all. So good is good to me. Yeah, different rhythms. Get the vibration high as we can. Like I said, if we believe in having fun, so let it whip. I can get lost in that, baby. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Right on, right on, right on. May the power of blue argonite propel you. May the power of blue argonite propel you. May the power of blue argonite propel you. And we give off that straight virgin energy, baby. You know it. We try to help you cut through ignorance so you are prepared to face whatever you think this reality is. We give you a tool to be successful, to fend it off. And we send that diamond energy out there, baby. They make them diamonds in New York. They call them Heckermers. But we love all the diamonds. We love them all. We love them all. But we send that amplifying diamond energy out to y'all. And we also send you the full fractal. We should show you the full energy of the possibility of the Virgin so that you can cut through ignorance in any level. Just so anybody, no one can say that I'm trying to fool you and, sabotage you. We give you the Virgin, the harmonics too, baby. This is the Virgin bowl. There we go. So anybody say, I'm putting something out there you don't know. It ain't like that. I don't need the trickery. Quite the turn. Well, I guess we should get some light on the subject, because I am quite the handsome fellow. Welcome. This is the Chocolate Mountain Show, and I am your one and only host, Big Pontiac. I'm also the holder of the infinite sacred ball game created by the World Twins. And as always, I am that one and only Galactic Daddy, welcoming each and every one of Chocolate Mountaineers to our galactic patio from Minnesota to outreaches of whatever thing consciousness is. And tonight we're hitting you with a double barrel of Red Axe Irish Ale. You see that? From Moose Lake, Minnesota. And you definitely don't have any. And I am breaking out the George Killian's barrel glass that you definitely don't have, because you are not sitting here right here in my moment. As you hear that top pop, you just know that you are not me. What is in my glass? Looks like tobacco, so it's fine. And you just look at that red amber notes and the caramels, and you just really wish you were me right now. You just wish you were me and having this. And because it is a full moon, I will partake. So pop them if you got them. And it is a full moon. Well, I was. There it is. We are going to partake in the Calumet. My brother Henderson down in Texas. You know. This is Buffalo Bone, I believe. Buffalo Horn, Buffalo Bone. I think Buffalo Horn. And so, smoke them if you want them. Woo! Woo! I am high enough. Well, thank you, Barbara. That is so nice of you. Thank you so much, Barbara. Crazy Sarge, I will look at those when I get done. Thank you, though, bro. I'll check them out. PJ Allen, my man, in 2,000 grand. What is happening? Vodka Simmons, thank you for joining me. Thank you very much, Barbara. That is so kind of you. Well, welcome, y'all. You know, gave a little extra last night because I did miss last Saturday. You know, this is kind of strenuous, trying to come on here and staying up all night, doing a million things during the day. What did form runners say? You had to get a lot of rest. Shout out to Super Sly. More of that cool stuff of throwing the coons down and handcuffing them. We can watch that all day. I just say replay it over and over again of them getting violated. I know they say common sense ain't common, but sometimes you gotta have common sense. That's all. Definitely welcome, Barbara. I hope everything is well with you and the family. This is my co-host. He ain't gonna say too much. He's gets some sneaky shit in. Nobody's fool. So that's why he's highlighted, because he's nobody's fool. And I think that speaks for all of us. That's why we all hope that we are not someone's fool. And then we do our best. And sometimes we think people are up to the occasion, and they're not up to the occasion. The moment is too much for them. And sometimes when the moment is too much for them, people just blow up and don't know what to do. And the only thing about it, sometimes that can close doors. Hey, Soap, how you doing? I can close doors. Because what people forget is what is important to one person may not be important to someone else. However, if it's important to that other person, then it's important to them. And sometimes people don't understand. People get caught up so much in what they are and what they do. They only think what they do is important. They don't put the importance on other things. Like motherfucker asked about what I do. I don't really do shit. I philosophize and I study. That's what I do. You ain't got to build me up to nobody. And if a motherfucker describe me, that's what they should say. This nigga don't do shit. He philosophize and he study. That was good enough. Motherfucker called me. It's like, hey, motherfucker said you philosophize and you study. I'm like, yeah, that's about right. That's about what I do. And I do have the library job, which I enjoy. I enjoy where I work and think. I must admit. And I can be active. And, I can go in there like Liberace, diamond up, and, I don't get grubby. I don't get dirty. My clothes don't stink. Don't have to take a shower when I get off. But I am secure in who I am. But this is my thing, And to me, and the people that like the information I put out, it's cool, It's two things I never felt. I ain't never been jealous of anyone else. And I don't know what lonely feels like. I ain't never been lonely. I ain't been jealous and I ain't been lonely. You're like, bitch, you don't want to be with me? My grandfather sat me down when I was a young boy. He said, son, I have all these other children that live in this neighborhood, not just your uncles and your aunts. I was like, yeah, I kind of get that. He said, women are like fish. You catch one, and if you can hold it for a little while, that's great. If it starts smelling funky, you want to throw it back in, that's great too. That's what it is. Respect that we get caught up into wanting to box people in certain ties and all that. Oh, indeed. Hey, did I say what's happening? If I didn't say what's happening to you, man? So the point is, we respect whatever someone does and what's important to them. We respect them. That's all. We respect what they do. And when they do their thing, if we compliment what they do, then, they shouldn't be in your life. That's what I felt. I dated a woman one time for 3 months. 3 months. Every day we kicked it. Every day for 3 months. Behind the scenes, she had won custody of her daughter. It was very similar to what we have now. It was a full moon, it was coming, and this woman decided to get drunk all day. And I just watched that behavior after she got drunk, and I'm like, I can't deal with that kind of behavior, that drunk behavior, Don't you understand when you get drunk, especially like women, when you get drunk and you want to have sex when you're drunk, do you know what's having sex? It's a demon having sex. It's the alcohol demon that's actually having sex. How many times I fell into that trap, especially with my second wife. Want to get drunk, and that's the only time she want to fuck is when she's drunk and full of the fucking liquor demon. I ain't getting none out of that. I'm getting drained. The liquor demon is draining me. So it's just hard enough being a human being. Just Richard Pryor said it best. It's just hard enough being a human being. But I feel what I do is just as important as what somebody else does. Feel good tonight, y'all. This is my Friday. Off until Monday, No, matter of fact, I'm going to work Saturday. I'm gonna go ahead and get a little more of that money. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in and work. And if I work a few more hours, I get a break. So it's better to work a few more hours, and then I get to work days. I'm off by one. I'm a motherfucker like getting up. I don't mind getting up. Get up, make a little more money. Oh. You know, the Gap Band said I got to get up early in the morning. Sometimes that's when opportunity knocks. Timing, you know, just like a comic. You know, comic is timing is everything. You don't want to tell a joke, you know, and step on your own joke. You know, you got dudes like Henny Youngman that was one-liner dudes, you know, that could just snap off and tell the same one-liners for years. I mean, these dudes were so good where they told the same one-liners for damn near 30 years. I mean, they added other jokes, but they would always add them same staple one-liners in there and could do it like that. You know? And people would still laugh. So whatever person's thing is, that's their thing. You know, you don't want to impede. You want to enhance a person's thing. If you can't enhance that person, then what are you doing? You know, you're taking away. You're being a vampire. It's hard for people to be humble. I think I'm one of the most humble men ever. Shit, some of the biggest moments of my life, I went out of my way. So, you know, my friends could feel what I was feeling. The electricity that I caused, I went out of my way to get the people that was important to me. So you could get some of this electricity, some of this current, so you can feel what this is feeling like. I didn't say fuck everybody. I just want to feel it. I was like, no, you know, let's be like Mesmer, you know, mesmerized. You know, this is the current I got. I'm trying to give it to everybody. Eric Badu, she seems like she does witchcraft. Yeah, you know, it's funny. It's funny. Like we can look at Beyonce and Beyonce's mother, and we can see that the practice was with them. And maybe Sly knows a little bit more, but it does not seem like she was a witch going in. It does not seem like she's a witch going in. Again, I don't know her bloodline, but it does not seem like she's a witch going in. But yeah, she's definitely she's taking that role, but doesn't appear like she's that powerful. It appears like she got her power from the industry. She became an industry witch. They need that kind of thing. So that's what I get out of her. Don't really get out a strong witch out of her. What's happening, Pontiac? You doing the live at the usual spot? Yeah. I had to, you know, there's a thing called strategic retreat. Sometimes you got to strategically retreat. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Do you have to work to be like that, or was it always in you? I don't know. I always like getting up. I never shied away from work, you know. Even when like when I was the supervisor, or when I had my own quality lab, you know, I didn't do anything that I wouldn't think, you know, I wouldn't ask any of my people to do. You know, when all the testing was set up with stuff, I was like, this is how it's going to be done. We're going to do everything like this, because really I had to, when I went in the lab, you know, I had all these procedures that I had to write the procedures for. Everything had to be done. So I had to take all my people and say, the shit got to be done like this. I don't give a fuck if you like it or not. This is the way we're going to do it from now on. So, you know, I had to write up the procedure, and when the motherfucker went to the machine, he could look at the motherfucking machine, and there's all the procedures. So he knew what the fuck to do. He's like, okay, A, B, C, D. Pictures of me and everything doing this shit. So I guess that was always in me, you know. As I said before, I started breaking down film study in 77. So I think that helped me in quality control, because it helped me break down detail back then, you know, especially seeing details in old black and white film. So I think that helped me. Badu claim her Choctaw heritage. So if she's Choctaw, then she would be, you know, it's so screwed. If she would have been related to the mothers, that's the only thing I could say, because they took a lot of, you know, when they came into America and they saw so many people using natural herbs and natural remedies, where the Protestants, that made them go crazy, because again the Protestants was, they said, well, you can. And that's funny if you study Protestants, because technically you would think the Protestants wasn't under Inquisition, but technically they still were, because the Protestants supposedly was not Catholics, but technically they used a lot of documented discovery in their conquering. So I don't know. I think it was always in me just to, I don't know, even like back in the mule days when I would send dudes to, we would make them trips down to Florida. Like I would go down to Florida, and I wouldn't just send one car back. I'd send multiple cars back. I'd send people on the bus, people on the train. I would never just, have one mule go. I would have 5 or 6 people go. And luckily, no one ever got caught like that. And I watched people that would send mules and get them caught on purpose so another car could go through. Dudes getting multiple years for that shit. Now I understand their thinking. We get this car caught. These people caught. A lot of attention's gonna come. We send somebody right behind them, and they won't get caught. And that's you. Do you realize that back in the mid '80s to '90s, they had like you go through Florida, and if you was smoking a joint, they had machines that would scope you to see if you was smoking weed in the car. They could tell the difference between smoking weed and smoking cigarettes. So it's like straight up being square in the motherfucker till you got to Florida. And do you know how far that drive is from Miami to the goddamn Tallahassee up northern Florida? That's like 4 or 5 hours. So, well, I don't know, Lorenzo. I mean, is she related to the tribal mothers? I don't know. Weird question, but were bike messengers big in your town? Been watching? Nah. That kind of died out. Actually, bike messengers come from telegram messengers. I play that song, by Jerry Butler. Send a telegram. That's where really bike messengers come from. It was telegrams. People getting telegrams. And so with telegrams, because telegrams, for those of you who don't know, telegram was a way to send a text message to a motherfucker. It was a way to send a text. That's all. So no, but that's what it was. It was doing telegrams. And so that's where the bike messengers come from. They was doing telegrams at first, and they was doing telegrams. They ended up doing telegrams on bikes. And so first, like the bike messengers, like say you had some blueprints done and you needed to get them across town, bigger cities was using bike messengers to push across CAD designs would go through the computer. But if you had the physical blueprints, a lot of times you would use them kind of messengers. So yeah, not really though. Me growing up, no, not me growing up. I watched ESPN football. They talked about the writing was on the wall back in '79 when the black players started going to the white schools. It was even before that, Lorenzo. They started going to the university. See, Bear Bryant played. You remember Samuel Cunningham's brother was Bam, Sam the Bam. So Randall Cunningham's brother was Sam the Bam Cunningham. They went to USC. And he was really the first one that would dive over the goal line, even before Walter Payton was doing the NFL. Sam was like money. And some speculate that Bear Bryant, because USC, they invited USC with brothers. And at that point, the SEC wasn't taking in brothers. And so USC humiliated them. And it was Bear Bryant saying, if you don't let me have these niggas, we ain't going to win no more. And so, the writing was on the wall. But the writing really came on the wall in the 60s. When that period, when Bear Bryant saw they had to have brothers to win, and the other part was the AFL taking brothers into the league. That was another part that made European schools start taking brothers. But Michigan State was always progressive in that. Remember, Bubba Smith was from Texas. Nobody in Texas recruited him or his brother. People forget Toady Smith, I think was his brother's name. He went to Michigan State too. So yeah, it was really more in the 60s, but she has made about having talked to. Okay. Yeah. I just think they took her into some covenant in Hollywood. That's all. And she probably is some American Indian bloodline. They're using that too. So yeah, little bit of both. Little bit of both. Hard to say. I don't really study her enough to know, but from the outside, kind of looking in, that's kind of my quick opinion of her. At least that's what she wants people to think, and where she's at, I couldn't say. I couldn't say where she's at. I don't really study her like that, and it goes back into what does she mean to me? What she does don't mean shit to me. Ethereum is still a good bet. Bitcoin, still want to say it stayed at 22, peaked at 23 earlier in the week. Gas, again, we're going to see the futures. November gas is going to be cheap as hell because the futures right now, it ain't been over 90 something a barrel. Gold's still up at 18. Silver is still at 20. So, like right now, you can get the gold nuggets sended. It's 1,800. It's not even hardly that much of a run up to just get a whole ounce. It's around 1,800. So, those of you that can, it's probably worth it. Probably worth it. Should have wrote down some good stocks came around today. Should have wrote that down, but I was a little lazy with it. Yeah, I figured it was long before that. It's funny you mentioned Michigan State because they have a melanated coach right now. Yeah, they've had a couple brothers that coached up there. As I said before, I believe that my great-grandfather was the first melanated person to graduate. It wasn't even called Michigan State. His degree don't even say Michigan State. It says something like Michigan Agricultural College. So it wasn't even called Michigan State back then. So, yeah, they've always been pretty progressive in that. Basketball players, too. Football, basketball. And a lot of brothers even before Magic. Terry Furlow, trying to think of older Michigan State players. Pete Gent's probably the oldest I can remember. I want to tell you guys the story of this guy from Fenville, Michigan. This guy was like 5'6". He was the leading scorer for the high school in Michigan for years. One of the coaches at Central Michigan finally broke this guy's scoring record. This guy was like 5'5", 5'6", could dunk. This guy had like a 38-inch vertical, could dunk at 5'5", 5'6". And he didn't play ABA basketball. He ended up playing for the Tigers. But the guy went to Michigan State. He played basketball at Michigan State, but I think he had a greater baseball career, ended up a little bit with the Tigers program. But I got to think of his name. I got to find out his name again because I had never heard of this dude. And I asked a couple people about him. And the guy was 5'5", hell of a scorer in Michigan, could dunk. Remember, the dunk wasn't, if you watch the Texas Western game, the dunk wasn't taken away until Jabbar was, you watch Jabbar freshman year, shit, he had them motherfuckers shook up. They was like, we let this nigga dunk, we can't control him. And it helped him because up to that point, he was dunking everything, which a lot of brothers did. But when they took the dunk away, he's like, okay. You look at Jabbar, and I don't know why people don't teach it. He could shoot the hook with left or right hand. Sometimes he like, what I'm gonna do? And then he would, raise with the left. The other times he would raise with the right. And that was how people was taught. Again, if you watch people playing the 40s, everybody's jump shot is freaking hooks. They shooting hooks from what would be a 3 now. Dude's consistently hitting. So that was once a way to shoot. You can't say, now that the game is, this 3-point and this helping, the basket manipulation that, the game has changed that much where a hook shot isn't needed. Hard shot to block. The only dude I ever saw block Kareem's hook shot was Wilt. And that was when Kareem first, second year. And that was, again, that Wilt. That wasn't Bill Russell. I'm trying to say Bill Russell was 6'10". Bill Russell was like 6'8", 6'9". He wasn't that tall. Look at the pictures of him and Wilt. Wilt's quite a bit bigger than him. Of course, you know, they died. They want to make them seem bigger than what they were. And not to say he wasn't a great player, but he was put in a great position. But again, when the fix is in your favor, the fix can make you the greatest. I mean, as great as Michael Jordan was, they didn't make him greater than Bill Russell. Bill Russell won 8 in a row. They fixed it for 8 years in a row. And one reason why they fixed it for them to win 8 years in a row, Boston was the center of the league. For the league to survive, they needed those 8 years in a row. But it also helped create the ABA. It also created the ABA because people was like, man, this is the only way that you guys play ball. No, basketball was coming in. A lot of people call it playground ball, but and that's why the league was necessary. And again, the ABA was fully bringing the brothers on. As I said before, studying the ABA, even going to the merger, just as many Europeans as it was brothers. So. And as we see even today, not really, the league is not made for American Europeans to play in the league anymore. The league wants Europeans to play in the league. And they really, since the merger, discouraged a lot of Europeans from playing. And if the Europeans wasn't Larry Bird, they would kill their career. Christian Laettner was a solid player. He wasn't Larry Bird, but he was a solid player. And because he wasn't Larry Bird, didn't have a great career. But because he won so much in college, they didn't want to let him win in the pro. And that's how they do it. That's how they do it. If you see them winning in college, a lot of times they don't even, Scotty Graham is a prime example. Look Scotty Graham up. Scotty Graham beat Duke. Look at his career afterwards. Scotty Graham, I think, drafted by the Pistons. Pistons cut his ass. He got cut by the CBA. Couldn't get nobody. So, sometime you get that to college, that's and Lorenzo Charles, one from North Carolina State, got killed, was a limousine driver, got killed, owned a limousine company, got killed. Again, a lot of dudes win in college, don't win in the pros. David Thompson won it. He's the one that broke UCLA's record winning. Again, the way basketball went, they let UCLA win, I think, 10 years in a row, and they let around the same time Boston won NBA in a row. Do you see how they was kind of doing both the same way? Because they know people like dynasties. They learned that from the Yankees. And for those of you who want to know the why, well, the why is, again, what my father said when I was a child. They ain't going to let niggas decide who wins or loses this big fight with all this money or this big game with all this money in it. And that's why we see Russell Wilson throw an interception when, Lynch then ran 10 yards to play before his eyes. They couldn't stop him. But instead of giving it to Lynch so Lynch can run it in, they do what no one normally. He throws interception on there. Saves Tom Brady because they were beat. They were beat. Everybody knows they were beat. Same way as the Tuck rule. They fumble. And that's the interesting thing about the Tuck rule is that shows you it's fixed. There's no way they did a 30 for 30, which is mocking. But they show you it's fixed. If you look, if you're a sports fan and you look at the Tuck rule and you don't see it's fixed, and you got your head in the sand. It wasn't just that one play; it's all of it was fixed. And that's just the way it is. Sports is the same as a movie. No different. And so there's no reason to have these emotional connections to sports because it ain't gonna do nothing. But if you bet, you're gonna lose money. You gotta bet. You gotta bet and listen to all this information. Don't bet because you go with a favorite team because you can't win like that. You gotta understand that it's fixed and bet from that understanding. Russ better not do that shit no more. Yeah, better not. But him, they called to play. They show you. They go back until preseason. They were looking for the play season. That's what they show you. Well, we knew it's coming. We practiced it preseason. We played them. Yeah. My best friend would tell you. As soon as I saw that formation, they're gonna fucking pass. I mean, I was just so blown away. Remember, they get the ball on the 12, and Lynch runs to the 2. Lynch runs 10 yards on like second down. No, it was first down. First down, Lynch runs 10 yards to the 2. He threw that interception on 1st and 2 to go, to the goal. When I looked at the formation, my best friend was next to me, and I was like, they're going to pass? I was blown away. As soon as I saw the formation, I was like, shit, everybody knew they was going to pass. So it was an example of fixed sports. No way that was real. Reception on the 1 yard line. Exactly. Shows you it's fixed. That's why they gave him all that money to follow fix. That's why they like these same players. And I think, that's the reason why, in a way, that Tom Brady is still playing, because it's hard to get guys to even though guys did the fix in college, the fix was in their favor. A lot of times these guys come in the league and the fix ain't going to be in their favor, And they do. Some of them get somewhat salty and they get their asses out the league. They hurt them on purpose. Not cool. All right. It's funny. When I was driving my older car, I never felt one way or another. Now, my daughter, my daughter's like, it's the raggedest car to pick them up. But for me, it didn't make me one way or another. Because I always know if it's a newer car, I can go get to drive a newer car. That doesn't matter. It's the same way in laying in the bed. I can lay in my room in a bed. I can lay in a bed in a certain size room. I've had bigger rooms. I've had bigger houses. I lived in a house where we had a pond. I told the story that same house, same pond where an eagle took the duck out the pond. As I was saying last night, to hear the frogs croak all night, that is just, man. Turn the air off, had the windows open, and you just hear nature all night. Just hear nature. It's a hell of a way to sleep, hell of a restfulness that you get just listen to nature. You all right down there, buddy? I think he's all right. I think he's gonna make it. One more, huh? Downplay. Don Play says, I have a pick for everybody. Pick Browns, money line versus Jaguars. I put $1,000 on it. All right, say less. Well, I might agree with you there. They got a good defense, and Jaguars going to have a hard time scoring on them. So he gave you one out, gave you one. Might be something you can go with. Thank you for putting that out there. Because one thing, the Browns is going to have a good defense again. And the Hunt, they're trying to bring Jimmy G there. Watson, I don't think Watson's going to lose. I don't think they're going to get more games. Because the early word was that Watson wasn't even going to get nothing. So 6 games, I don't watch the talking heads on the NFL. But last I know, Watson, still the appeal was still there. He was still they were trying to appeal him only getting 6 games. It was just like Jimmy G had a chance to win the Super Bowl and he overthrew it wide open. Wide open, he overthrew him. Remember that in the Super Bowl? Jimmy G had a chance to win the game. But people in the headphones say, yeah, overthrew. We can't let you win. Look at them old Super Bowls for 10 years, about 15 years. All the Super Bowls was a blowout. All 3 Cowboys. The Cowboys couldn't win a close Super Bowl. All them Jerry Jones Super Bowl with Troy Aikman, them was blowout Super Bowls. So you didn't really see him get tested. They was getting tested in the NFL, the NFC championship games. They wasn't getting tested in the Super Bowls. They didn't know script them without a blowout. Doug Williams won his only Super Bowl. It was a blowout. I mean, what did I say before? John Elway lost 3 or 4 Super Bowls before he won 2. He lost 4. People forget that he lost 4 Super Bowls, or at least 3. I think we talked about that before. John Elway lost, and I did the video where it shows, John Elway get a safety on purpose, and that's the plays I try to show. Purposeful plays. Like when Ernest Biner fumbled, there's probably some kind of signal where, they say, oh, thing punting the ball out. That's really new. When you get down the end zone, you snuggle the ball anyway. You don't just have it there where he can punch it. You put your head into him. None of that happened, did it? But Byers just put the ball out there. Win the game, cross. No, get punched. But that shows the crookedness of it all. And I'll say what Sly showed, there's no one way to, deal with law enforcement. Law enforcement ain't there to protect you. Remember, get that out of your head. You are there to protect you. When you're at your house, you are there to protect you in your house. Your car break down or something like that, you are there to protect yourself. They ain't there to protect you. So the best way to deal with them is to make you invisible to them, which is very easy to do. They won't bother you because you be invisible to them. If you do have to deal with them on your terms. Don't get tricked into deal with them on their terms. Deal with them on your terms. Like I've said, when I had to deal with them, it was 2 of them. One wanted to talk to me. The other one tried to come in. I'm like, no, not you. So I say for you to feel safe, I'll keep the door open, but I'm not going to be double teamed by 2 of you motherfuckers up in my house. So made one stay in the hall. My daughter's like, that was rude. No, I wasn't rude. I'm not be intimidated by 2 motherfuckers up in my house. You mean when Leon let BB hawk him down and knock the ball out of his hand before he crossed the goal line? Yeah. That was a fake play too. That was a fake play too. That definitely has something to do with the spread. That's why Let didn't score and did that. But all them Cowboys, remember Andre Reed threw his helmet down. Remember, one Super Bowl, Andre Reed threw his helmet down, which led to a score and a back-to-back score. And remember, the other one, Thurman Thomas couldn't find his helmet. Y'all remember that one? They was in scoring position, and Thurman Thomas couldn't find his helmet. See, all kind of shit to fix these games if you pay attention. Yep. If you pay attention to them, but they was blowouts. All three of the Cowboys championships was all blowouts. That's all the Super Bowl, and it was like the parties was better than the Super Bowl because the Super Bowls was just blowouts. We didn't get a good game until Pittsburgh. What Pittsburgh and the Cardinals. That was the better game that we finally got, where they gave the cat, the cat a touchdown for Pittsburgh in the end zone. I think that was an old Michigan State player too. Tiptoe. NFL is the fakest. Yeah, in some ways it is. Some ways it is, Jack. I concur. Definitely say less. Dodge. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I couldn't avoid that. Dodgers own the Twins, and that scripted win. Yeah, they whooped the Twins' ass. It was 8-4. I think that's what it ended up being, 8-4. Fucking Twins pitching held for a minute. End up it was 8-4, 5-4, and then they gave up another home run. I think they got to 4 runs. But I watched that game. Yep. With the cops, you deal with them. Yeah, you don't hold exactly. Getting arrested don't mean you going to jail. It just mean you getting processed. That's all. A lot of times you ain't even got to pay bail. The way they changing bail reform, you ain't got to pay bails. Why fight? Okay, take me in. Take me in. I got some money. I know some people. I own some property, so I can get out. That's all. So, no reason to fight with them. There is a process. That's what people forget. There's a process. That's why them running away and cops popping mugs in the back. That shit looks so fake. Motherfucker like ain't really wanted for nothing. He just take off running. Like one dude in South Carolina, he took off running. He had child support shit. That's why he gets stopped and just take off running. Really? Child support warrants? Fucking go to jail, pay that shit, and go to court. That's it. So I make fun in Georgia. I'm supposed to call that woman power. Women thinking they got more power than what they have, and then they get handled and want to cry. Start acting. Copper. It's good to even just hold copper. You know that what it does to your skin when you just hold it, and it goes into your skin. Just yeah. Got a little nugget too. All from Michigan, baby. Best copper in the world comes from Michigan. The oldest copper mines in the world come from Michigan. They think it's one mine looked like it'd been mined for 1,000,000 years. They think that the original giants are the ones that originally started mining the copper. And Michigan has been found all over the world. It's funny, we have so many distractions. We've given away so many freedoms under the guise of living longer. People think that you give up your freedoms just to live longer is worth it. And I thought one man in our government said, what did he say? Give me death, or give me liberty, or give me death. What happened to that? It's not a thing anymore, is it? Not a thing. Now motherfuckers say, just let me live and, whatever. I'll follow the rules. Let me live and I'll follow the rules. Kind of what they want. They don't want free thinkers. They want system thinkers. We let chicks say in the movie, oh shit, you're real. And that's where we live a life in, where we don't meet very many real people. And the problem is, especially people like me, I try to make unreal people real. And they had a lot of success in that because they ain't real. They've done some things that are real, but them themselves ain't no different than a computer person in the background. Uh, Either SD, it's hidden, or he's lurking. My Braves won 2 straight in Boston. The Red Sox winning it all, huh? Yeah, he's lurking. SD is lurking. But they got me. My Twins got their ass whooped. But again, let's remember the Dodgers has got the best record in the league. So, for me, ESPN is biased that he said that Peyton Manning should have won the Heisman over Charles Woodson. Peyton could never throw. That was why it was. They kind of had to hit. They tried to hide him in Tennessee too because he couldn't throw deep even then. He didn't have a strong arm. He was a dipper. So he was created. You know, his daddy lost all them games so the boys can win. His brother is probably the worst quarterback in the history of the league to win the Super Bowl. I mean, they want to put his brother in it. Both of them really don't. But that other one, he sucked. I mean, we know those 2 Super Bowls he won was both fixed. The dude caught a ball, you know, with a magnet on the helmet to mock people. So. I mean, he had like 9 losing seasons almost every year, but the 2 he won the Super Bowl. The Dodgers are the best team in the league, yeah. Because shit, we had the Dodgers. We was up 3-2. Polanco, he hit a home run and made it 3-2. Then they hit a home run and made it. No, it was 4 up. They scored a sacrifice. I watched the game. It was a late game, so I watched it. But you know, once it was 8-4, I started watching what's on TV every night. I started watching Hitler again. Hitler's on TV every night. Talking about they hate Hitler. United Drills, what's happening, man? Thank you for joining. Hitler's on every night. Hitler had a window that went up in the air, you know, an automatic window. He living in the Swiss motherfucking Alps. And he got some shit that just goes up in the air in the 30s. You know, window that raises up. And it's just open. Maybe it wasn't bugs back then. I don't know. That shit looks beautiful. Swiss Alps. I always thought that if I could go back in time, blink into Hitler's position, see if I can win it all. Goddamn, if I would have attacked Russia when I did. I wouldn't attack Russia when I did. I would have fucked up Montgomery down in Africa. I'd have gave Rommel everything, so I would have had secured all the gasoline I needed. So I definitely won Africa. Gave Rommel everything he needed. He didn't need much. He was whooping Montgomery's ass with not much. So I definitely gave him everything he needed to defeat them, which would have defeated the Americans. Hitler should have, well, they did win the war. Because you think them Nazis lost? Look at the Apollo program. They did not lose. The Nazis did not lose. Operation Paperclip is another one. It's too much to say. They talking about they all these Nazis, shit. These Nazis, do you know how many Nazis they brought over here? In the thousands. Nazis was brought over here in the thousands, and yet the Jewish faith people tell you they hunt Nazis, but they came. Yeah, a lot of them went to South America, but a lot of them stayed in America. A lot of them started working for the CIA in the Cold War. Cold War was another way just to steal money. Same sides. That's the thing. We think all our governments are different. It's one government. It ain't a bunch of governments. We are fooled into thinking it's one government. It's many. It's just one. We ain't never break away from Britain. We still under the Queen. Like I said, why would they give them Canada? If they really, really defeated England, why did they give them Canada? Why did they give them Jamaica and some of the islands? So that tells you right there. If they really hated England and wanted to kick them out of North America, they'd have kicked them out of Canada. They never did. I even think the War of 1812 was just to really encroach on more land, to see which Indians wanted to fight them and kill that leader and stop, continue European encroachment. Because that's what it was considered one time, encroachment. Poor white trash was just going into these lands, sitting there, stealing. Government didn't mind it, so the government didn't try to stop it. But I want to get with people from South Carolina for sure. Some of these other states, we start going after these people from Reconstruction. That Africa shit out of your mind in Reconstruction. We got a lot of names of these people that started this stuff and caused the suffrage from Reconstruction, and that is what we need to go after. That is where the money is going to come from: Reconstruction, not slavery. So those of you from South Carolina, you got the names. The names is there of the ones that's guilty. Now, we know the Sharpton and that other motherfucker, they ain't going to take this case. But we'll get some lawyers that'll take this shit. And so make them pay, not quite like that guy Dotson came up with Glover on Atlanta, made a movie about. Not like that, but in a way like that. Like some of these people, Now, the sad thing is, everybody ain't going to get money. Every melanated person ain't going to get money. But the point is we going to make the ones sting that some of them got to pay. The way it goes with Europeans is they don't want any of them to pay. They want to erase this history. They say critical race. That means they do not want the massacres taught anymore. They don't want the massacres of Columbus taught. They don't want the massacres of Cortez taught. They don't want any of that taught anymore. They want everyone, melanated children, everyone just to say that the Europeans came over, they had Thanksgiving, and it's just a European country now. That's kind of the way it's taught. What's happening, Chris? And that's what they want you to think about it. It's just a European country. Didn't matter. They didn't know what to do with it. And they want to give you the lie of, rather, instead of telling you that they made prisoners of war people, they want to tell you, disease killed a lot of them. So that's the other lie they want to tell you. Disease killed a lot of them. Yeah. Instead of saying they enslaved people. They don't like that. As I said, if you do reparations for Europeans, you do reparations for slavery, a lot of Europeans is going to get paid. Because they're going to tell the truth. They were just as many slaves as we was. That's why they want to tell you the lie of their slavery. They want to tell you their slavery wasn't slavery. It was, indentured. They only had to be a slave for a certain period. They can get their freedom. How many brothers you see that got the same deal? But they just called him a regular slave. He bought his freedom and then he bought his family. But he served this. He had the same number of years. If you look at the brother's background, he had the same number of years to serve indentured. See? So it was melanated people that was indentured servants too. But see, they want to make you think only Europeans got that. So something to study. As I say, and I think I've made famous, look it up. It's on you. Look it up. I wasn't going to go terribly long tonight. I'm sleepy as shit. Yeah, Doug Williams made history the first to start. 42 points exactly. So Doug wasn't a great quarterback. He had a lot of great skills, though. I'll say this, mechanics, he's a quarterback to watch mechanics. He had great mechanics. But he played with my guys. I had a couple, my head coach ended up being, Doug was with the Oklahoma team, Oklahoma Outlaws in the USFL. My head coach was the defensive coordinator for that team. because he was the defensive coach. He was stupid as fuck. Defensive coach and one run to veer. Old time football. Old time football. Well, I'm gonna stay on too long tonight. You know, a little bit. I'm get a little rest. I got some shit to do in the morning. Early in the morning, I wake up and I start to yawning. I turn on the coffee because it starts brewing. I smoke a joint and it has me wanting the munchies and start grooving. I turn on music because that's the vibe. I turn on my shower and get that steam to rise. You did? You know, that kind of thing. But ain't nothing changed, y'all. Things still is going, you know, getting one piece of equipment at a time. So thank you for hanging with me for sure. Dan Calloway showed the clip from Goodbye Uncle Tom where the melanated talk about he wasn't no slave. He said the white folks was more slaves than him. Yeah, he did. I mean, they put some truths out there. They put some truths out there. Slavery wasn't the way we thought. Wasn't at all, you know. 12 years of slaves showed a lot of truths. And if the thing they show you, you know, they want to tell you they took up the families. Well, they show you the lady go crazy. Now, you think that was the way to do business? That you was going to take a woman and the family and make her go crazy where she ain't, you know, the children might go crazy. Everybody might go crazy, just cry. And you think they really did that? As I said before, and any of you can, this is not arguable. This is not arguable. Argue. You can't argue this. 99% of skilled labor was melanated people before the Civil War. So do you think that was just slaves? Of all the antebellum South, do you think that was just slavery? Always about the donkeys. That's the lie they want to tell you. They want to tell you the South was so bad when it was quite the opposite. The North was the one that was still killing the melanated Indians. They was the one in the North. And the South didn't go to war, as I said before. The South didn't go to war against Michigan. They didn't go to war against Wisconsin. They went to war against D.C. And D.C. had to fool all these states to help their ass. Because technically, the South, after Bull Run, should have attacked D.C. But that's another story. Well, I'm a... And, yeah. I'm going to cut it. And should be back tomorrow night. See if I have any other insights. Have a little bit. And come check it out. So, y'all, this has been the Chocolate Mountain Show. I'm your guy, Big Pontiac. Gonna get lost tonight, so I'm cutting it short. Feeling pretty good, though. Yeah. As I said, you know, actions is what it is. People's actions is how you got to look at it. The action shows one way, that might be the way they are. So, this has been the Chocolate Mountain Show. I've been your guy, Big Pontiac. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Till we meet again, say less. I'm going to go lay down so I can